the Hindu editorial today. So, uh, thought of the day: when you know better, you do way better. If you guys know something which you are good at it, you will do better on it. So that's the thought of the day. With that, we're going to start this editorial. So, darling, right? On 5G spectrum sale, government should ensure both the exchequer and the public benefit from the spectrum sale. So, uh, in this editorial, the author is trying to say that both the government treasure and the public should be benefited from this spectrum sale. All right, next slide. Uh, India's latest auction of telecommunication spectrum, including of bands ideally suited for offering fifth-generation 5G technology services, drew bids exceeded a record 1.5 lakh crore is a clear sign that the industry is on path of recovery. As you all know that government put 5G spectrum on sale, and they can see that the bid exceeded a record of 1.5 lakh crore, which is a good sign for this industry uh, and in a good path of recovery. As expected, Reliance Jio emerged as a top bidder, covering 48% of the airwaves that were acquired by offering more than 88,000 crore in total. Bharat Airtel bid just under half that amount for 39% of the spectrum sold, while the most depth-laden Vodafone Idea came in a distinct third by committing close to 19,000 crore for amount for about 12% spectrum. So, as we all know, how Jio created a revolution of 4G network around our country during the time period around to 2016. So, we can expect Jio to be a top bidder, covering 48% of the airwaves and offering more than 88,000 crore in total. We can see also Airtel also bid around 39%, and also Vodafone, even in very depth, came out to be a third most buyer of spectrum, around 12%, which is almost 19,000 crore. Yeah, next one. And in an interesting development that will need close watching, the deep pocket and aggressively expanding Adani made its first foray into the telecom space by successfully bidding for a very small but targeted quantum of spectrum, ostensibly for uh, captive use in the highly sought after 26 GHz band that is considered ideal for 5G services. A new player also emerged during this auction, and the most famous group, Adani. You can see why 5G, why companies like which is not even which is in a non-telecom sector take interest in this telecom sector. They can see a future of 5G, so they are come forward and trying to invest in those things also. Yeah, next slide. All right. While the government has netted just over a third of the 4.3 lakh reserve price, it is set for a spectrum on offer. The fact that 71% of the airwaves on the block won bid in testament of the improvement of the industry's health. So you can see that government put a total bid of 4.3 lakh crore, and from the first slide we can see the total sale is exceeded over 1.5 lakh, which is almost one third of the 4.3 lakh crore, uh, which is very good for government netted and also good for the industry's health. So the centers moved last year to ease regulatory norms around payment of dues, including a a 4-year moratorium on outstanding payment and the redefinition of uh, redefinition of adjusted gross revenue to prospective exclude non-telecom earning, allows service provider to breather and help them attract investors uh, interest, as also spread liabilities over staggered period. So we can see that the Vodafone Idea company like this in telecom sector are in very depth. They cannot afford another bid, but our central government regulates some norms so they can uh, pay their debt within a time period of 4 years. So they can take a breather out of it and they can invest on this new spectrum sale, uh, because you can see that there are very less private players in our India, so they can invest and they can prosper this spectrum, 5G spectrum in a good way. So these are some central moves to prosper the uh, and which is also excluding non-telecom earning. This is for only telecom sector. The liability which central government has provided is only for uh, telecom sector only. Okay. Separately, industry-wide increases is in tariff also help lift average revenue per user at the telecom service providing, boosting margins. So, as you can see, at the time when Jio provides an offer of 299 per month charge, if you remember, in 2016, for 1 GB, they are providing 299 rupees per month, but when Jio got enough subscriber to their plans, they happily increased their prices by 399 per month. So this lifted average revenue per user. So this is also good for telecoms sector, and you can see for a tariff user who used to pay 299 per month for a 1 GB plan, but now this company provides 299, 399 for daily basis. You can get 1 GB for one day. You can for about a month. So these are the things. Next. So the government policy decision to return bank guarantees to telecom must have helped improve their eligibility for debt, crucial for capital expenditure. So we can say that I also discussed in our previous slide that government makes a policy like that so that even a company like Vodafone Idea, which are in depth, able to come up and play an important role in this spectrum sale. Uh, and with the spectrum usage charge also banned, the enhanced flexibility like allowed enthusiastic participants from all three private players, a far cry from when the very survival of Vodafone was in doubt. However, the auction also offered crucial lessons. So yeah, this is my point. Next slide. The higher reserve price like tempted enthusiasts for a certain spectrum band. Uh, The government of India has provided a higher price for a certain spectrum band, which also shook the companies that why these bands are getting so much prices, while the 3.3 gigahertz and to 26 gigahertz were snapped up at the reserve price in a several service area. The 600 megahertz was left untouched, and 60% of the 700 megaspectrum remained unsold. The latter is idea for rural connectivity as well as signal penetration inside building in urban areas. So there are certain spectrum bands which government put on bid, but which is still unsold. So we can see that company is buying spectrum for a targeted amount of like we can see here, the idea for rural connectivity as well as a signal penetration inside building in urban areas. So in urban areas there are, you can see, lots of buildings. So currently if we are using 4G network, we have sometime we have to go outside for a network issue. But in 5G spectrum, this issue is rectified, that the signal can penetrate inside buildings now in urban areas also. Uh, if spectrum is seen as a precious national resources, the government would do not let it lie unusual, and instead price it in an optimal manner so as to ensure the both exchequer and the public at a large, including in the remote rural corners benefits. So the author is trying to say that government should act in a certain way so that the government treasure and the public both will get benefit out from it. So guys, tell me, what do you feel about this editorial? What's the tone of editorial? Is anyone can speak up on this? What's the tone of this editorial?
Like uh, analytical. Yeah, author is trying to analyze and also informative, both.
Yes, yes, both, because there are certain amount of information why spectrum of a certain section is not is untouched by the buyers. So this is informative and analytical also.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Anyone who has questions, you can ask.
Guys, if anyone wants to explain any paragraph, you should choose your paragraph and I can highlight that one. Otherwise, I can end this session. Anyone else wanna explain any paragraph?
Yeah, I want to explain whole concept once. What he is saying.
Which one?
Can I?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Which one? Which one?
Overall,
Overall.
what he's covered.
Okay, yeah, yeah, you can explain. Okay, sure.
Yeah, in the first slide he's explained that how it is going to be beneficial for government and public. And in the second slide he said that what is the percentages they got for Reliance, uh, Jio, Airtel, and Vodafone. Even the Vodafone has in its debt, they are given a special privilege of 12% uh, by giving 90,000 crores. Um, um, what's the difference between the 4G and 5G? But in this slide, in overall editorial, they didn't cover any disadvantages. I think there is no, but I want to ask a question that is there any radiation issues there? Mm, since there is a rumors that radiation may affect humans too, but there is no scientific evidence for that. Uh, I want to ask them regarding the question that is it true that radiation affects us?
Okay, yeah, ABK.
What? What? I didn't heard.
Since there is a increase in the spectrum concentration in the field, is there any possibility increase in radiation and that could be a possible effect of humans? Did you get my point? Hello.
ABK, he was asking about if frequency will be increase, pulse will be increase, so it will be effect to more on human body or any species body. I thought he is facing some network issue. Yeah, Anurag, you wanna give the answer?
Yeah, I would like to answer him. So, see, when you deal with frequency modulation, in electrical engineering or uh, more in electronics engineering, they will teach you what frequency modulation do you have to adopt. So, in other instrument devices, we are already accustomed to many devices are already accustomed to more devices which operate at more higher frequency, and yet we are using them for our good and welfare. So I don't believe that it will significantly affect anything. Yes, but airlines are expected
Hello.
to.
I just connected. I got some internet issue, so I couldn't. Uh, yeah, you can ask your question again.
Yeah, is there any radiation issues?
Okay. So, you know, in previous generation 4G, they increased their frequency, right? But this time in 5G technology, uh, the hardware is completely changed. So, uh, in previous generation, they are using a spectrum of two different bandwidth, which can amplify the bandwidth of the spectrum. So, in this technology, they are using a parallel connection, which does not affect any, uh, radiation issue. That what I want to say. This thing is also rectified before that 5G network doesn't have any radiation issue regarding this time.
Okay.
No, Amar, actually, uh, I'll tell you, airlines were like in USA, not in India. We have significant difference. Like we have a band gap of around 2250 hertz in the 5G spectrum that we are going to soon launch. And but in USA there is only a gap of 50 hertz, so there is a chance that signal might be interfered. So the airline signal, they also use the frequency to communicate with their. They also use some frequency which is very close to the 5G spectrum that they are going to introduce. So for them it will be a challenge how to because it can interfere with the airline signal. Okay, and any disturbance can lead to a disaster, that it can lead to a plane crash. So in USA, they might have to look for an alternative. But for India, I believe we are safe as far as 5G is concerned because it won't at least affect the airlines. We have a significant gap of 250 hertz between the operating frequency of air traffic communication and the 5G spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Okay, now I will cancel the screen sharing. Yeah, Anurag, you wanna say something about that? Something about YouTube?
Is it harmful for birds or an or animal? 5G spectrum?
These are speculation as of now, unless they have conducted tests in other countries, and no significant harm or effect on birds or insects have seen.
Because I
So
have
again,
seen there are many. I have read many articles or I have seen many movies. One movie was particularly related about this thing. All birds are very harmful with this if,
no, these are
frequency.
speculation. Even during times of COVID, we have seen that COVID is caused by 5G spectrum, okay, 5G
Mm-hmm.
radiation. So see, these
Right.
are speculation. We should focus on more reliable and credible information. And if you follow the source of Hindu or more trustworthy, like Indian Express news media organization, they don't provide such information until it is verified. So we can rely on
Right.
these.
Right.
Yeah. I think we can conclude the session, and at the end, I would like to say those who joined late, even I have missed few part. I joined at 11:17, so I missed 2 minutes of session. I will be, we can go on YouTube on our English Learner channel, and those who have missed the session or some part of the session, or those who want to repeat the session, they can watch there at their convenience of time. And
What
so
is your channel name?
uh, you can in the group chat box you can just type link. Let me do it for you, and it will direct you to the YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah, so have a look. Just type link in the chat box, and it will show you the link on your display, the screen display, and you can see that link. Click on that link, and you'll get to our channel. Yeah, I hope you all must have enjoyed this session, and it's time for us to conclude this. Have a nice day ahead, all of you.